Well, shit. Look at that. Your boy, how about a couple joke here? And I started a video with absolutely nothing to show you. Now, what am I going to show you? That is the question over there. Because I really just wanted to talk about it. Screw it. We just want to talk about it. I got my little brick pond brick back here. There's like there we can big Caribbean. So brick pond brick isn't back in. But the NFL season is upon us, and it is the most wonderful time of the year. I promise you that. I'm supposed to be doing something else right now as I record this, but I am not doing that something right now, and that is a-okay. I have no problem with not doing that something else right now, because sometimes a solo act is just as good as the conglomerate. Sometimes teamwork makes the dream work if the team is two hands and a mind. Yeah. Anyway, enough of me talking silly shit. As I mentioned, it is your boy. How about a couple show? I haven't done a long form video in quite some time, and as I mentioned, NFL season's upon us. As you can see right down there, it is it's back on Thursday. Mm. I've been waiting quite a long time to be back in the good graces of the betting world, and I've been holding my own. I've been holding my effing own. Um, I think I'll use effing as opposed to fucking. I think I like the way effing sounds. I'm a big fan of fucking. but anyway, um, the NFL back is the NFL back. The NFL is back on Thursday, and Michael Parsons is just shaking up. Did Michael Parsons shake it up, or did Jerry Jones shake it up? I don't even feel like giving Jerry Jones that type of credit. Come to think of it, I just don't think that he deserves that type of credit for the recent moves that he has made, at least over the last 5 years. Definitely amazing in the business of owner, as I don't know if you all have heard, but Stephen A. Put us on to the fact that the Dallas Cowboys last season generated $800 million in local revenue. The idea of that is mind blowing. So continue to be the genius that you are. However, I don't think he's ever been a genius at this putting teams together thing. I think that he was definitely blessed with talent and coaching, and also the ability to get white hot at the right time. That's truly what a good Super Bowl run includes: getting white hot along with a level of dominance, and that is exactly what they had through the '90s. However, it hasn't been the '90s for a long time. I should know. In the '90s, I was a young lad, and though I'm still a young man, I'm not really a young lad anymore. It is what it is. But I'm here today to talk about week one, talking about my favorite futures. Anyone that knows me knows that I bleed purple and black. Baltimore's where it's at. Ravens flock is something that I am big on. However, Brooklyn, it is what it is. With that in mind, I definitely did jump in on a Baltimore Ravens plus 700 over at Caesars when futures came out. And I stand by that. I do feel that the Ravens should get it done this year. Even though, as a Ravens fan, I'm a little biased, I do feel that the Ravens can get it done every year. And there are very realistic years where I see that we just don't have the personnel to do it. However, if I must say so myself, the Ravens had holes, and their holes were in the secondary. And in the secondary, primarily due to the age, not necessarily due to talent. I feel as though the team had to correct issues in the O line. They also had to correct issues in the secondary, as I mentioned. Kyle Hamilton got re-signed. Lamar Jackson is happy. Restructuring the contract, bringing DeAndre Hopkins. We got some more veteran leadership catching the football. I can imagine in situations where we need a big catch or the right route ran at that particular time. We now have more than enough back there. Hopefully, Isaiah Likely is fully healthy and ready to go. Mark Andrews, like the professional, has more than likely threw the drop 2-point conversion out of the window. Even hopefully he threw the fumble out of the window as well. He's a vet. He's a professional. He's a stud on the football field. I have no worries about Mark Andrews. Zay Flowers ready to run circles around people again. Rashad Bateman following the breakout season, ready to become the possible number one option that he should have been coming out of college. The Ravens should see themselves hoisting the Lombardi this year, simply based on talent. Because A to Z, there's really nothing outside of injuries that should be able to stop them. This doesn't look like one of those years where they'll stop themselves. But it hasn't looked like that for about 4 years, and they've managed to do it 4 years in a row. Well, 3 out of 4 years. The other year was a Lamar injury, but I digress. I have Ravens winning the Super Bowl plus 700. I have a full unit on that. I also have the Ravens beating the Bills in week 1. Now, this could end up with egg on my face, and it is what it is. But there's nothing about what Buffalo's offseason, there's nothing about the Bills last year that will lead me to believe that the Ravens are going to lose in Buffalo again, especially coming off of how their season ended. Not only is there a revenge factor, I just think that they are more talented than the other team. It is what it is. I think that Josh Allen gives them a chance. I think that James Cook did get paid, and he's going to give them just as much of a fighting chance. I'm a Keon Coleman fan. I think that he gets an opportunity for a breakout year. But you're starting against the wrong secondary. You're starting against the wrong pass rush. You're starting against the wrong front seven. It's not going down like that, in my opinion. Give me Ravens money line in week 1. That's coming Sunday. Well, not tomorrow, but now I'm recording this on Saturday. But give me Ravens first week 1-0. Ravens money line. Fuck the 2.5 that it came out at, and to hell with the 1.5 that it's at right now. That's not what I need. That's not what I'm looking for. Please pardon me. Hold on. Checking the screen. Oop. Checking the screen. Still going strong. Anyway, sorry about that. Boom. That is not my, it ended up being my top play because I jumped in on Ravens minus 105 on DraftKings, and then I jumped back in on Ravens at plus 100. So I'm definitely throwing a 1.5 total on the Ravens to get this done in week 1, along with the unit that I'm hoping gets cashed at the end of the season come Super Bowl Sunday. Super Bowl Sunday this past offseason was my best day in the entire season, and it's a great time. It was one day where behind a lot of Jalen Hurts, behind Xavier Worthy, behind fading the Chiefs in the way that I faded the Chiefs and riding the Eagles the way I rode the Eagles, I corrected every wrong that I have and literally broke even in the NFL. And it's amazing. Well, if we're being literal, I was down 12 cents. I can look at that. That's breaking even. Hell, that's a win for me. I'm going to take that. Because I've been doing the sports betting thing since 2021, I believe since 2023. And the NFL has kicked my ass because I used to be a parlay hunter. Now, a much smarter wagerer. Better. And I do it a certain way now. So, Ravens money line to start the season. Moving on to another play that I do like to start the season. I did skip over the elephant in the room, Michael Parsons. He's in Green Bay. And Green Bay, I feel as though Green Bay towards the end of the season became a defensive monster. Just from like week 10 on, just hard to score on, hard to move the football against. However, when certain teams did come to town, I was heavily on that running back on the opposing team to get that touchdown. So if by some chance they figured out their goal line defense, then this team could make a lot of noise. However, I do not think that they're the best team in the NFC, even with adding Michael Parsons. I think that the Eagles still have a firm grasp of that. I think that the Detroit Lions could show that it's Dan Campbell's culture as opposed to the offensive and defensive coordinators that were leading both of those units, then Detroit is still the second best team Truthfully, Detroit was the first best team last year, and injuries were the reason why they didn't run away with the Super Bowl. Their damn selves. I see a Detroit Lions team that doesn't get hit with injuries went to Super Bowl last year, and I think that the result in the Super Bowl would have been the same way. Um, I may throw some coins on Baltimore versus Detroit in the Super Bowl this year, as long as everyone's healthy on both of those units, or enough people healthy on both of those units. However, originally, with Michael Parsons there, with a healthy Dak Prescott, with a receiving core that was ready to take off, originally, I was going to take the Cowboys at their plus 6.5. Um, Clearly, Vegas doesn't really factor Micah Parsons in that much because they've moved from a plus 6.5 to a plus 7.5. My belief, plus 7 or better, I expect you to get blown out. That is what it is. Plus 6.5, you might keep this within a field goal. Plus 7.5, I don't know if the Eagles are that good. Jerry Jones is real big in talking about stopping the run. I don't think that the Eagles have left enough on the table on their offensive line to not still be able to run the football however they want. At the end of the day, Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley are both still back there behind what is arguably the best offensive line in football. I don't care if you have a tush push in your back pocket or not. I still see this Eagles team doing what they want to a lot of teams. And I'm not expecting one off season to create a huge change for the Dallas Cowboys as it relates to stopping the run. I'm still going to take, which I did, still going to take Jalen Hurts for an anytime touchdown. I'm in on Hurts at minus 120 at Caesars. I jumped in real early. I'm in for a full unit. I seen that Saquon Barkley's touchdown line had dropped down to minus 175. Now, last year, I had a rule about my straight plays. I wouldn't take anything greater than a minus 150. I'm a little more aggressive and a little more willing to drink some juice this year. So I'll go as far as a minus 175 on any time touchdown. Hell, I'll go as far as a minus 175 on anything at this point. Minus 200 is tempting if one of these lovely sports books have a boost available that isn't going to limit me. So for the most part, for me, that's going to be Bet Rivers, FanDuel, and DraftKings. I take that back. BetMGM, Bet Rivers, FanDuel, and DraftKings. Those are 3 books that will typically give me some sort of boost that I can use on the minus 200. And I'll do that and get that down to minus 150 and go eat. It is what it is. But as far as my ink play for this first game on Thursday, I only have Jalen Hurts. I only have Jalen Hurts for anytime touchdown. Originally, I was going to take that Cowboys plus 6.5 because I think that they're a much better team, especially if they're healthy and Dak is out there with some new weapons. However, I'm not touching the Cowboys. I'm not. Show me. Show me what you got to show me. I'll see you next week. Not even doing it. Riding this Micah Parsons wave, the play that I was on early, and I still like that I'm on this side. Lions money line. Lions money line. I don't think Micah Parsons is enough to change that outcome. As I mentioned originally, the Lions were beaten by health. They weren't beaten by nothing else. Their linebackers are fast. The secondary was the questionable part, but it was primarily due to injury as well. Like that healthy secondary, the speed at linebacker, a healthy pass rush. I don't see why Detroit can't win this game. I don't see why they don't have the opportunity to run away with it. Montgomery plus Gibbs sounds like, along with my Detroit Lions money line, sounds like Jahmyr Gibbs minus 115 at FanDuel, which at this point I feel is stealing. He should never be so cheap. Well, he's never be so cheap. No, never. Not Gibbs. He was a walking touchdown last year. I might double down and take Montgomery because that goal to goal situation is a Montgomery gold mine. But I'll come back to you with that. Other than that, I have Detroit money line. I have Jameer Gibbs minus 115. I wasn't on Detroit money line at plus 105 when the lines came out. I see it's down to plus 102. The line did move at one point to minus 110. I thought about it then. Mm, plus 102. It sounds like we're still on the same playing field. Plus 102 is more than good enough for me in a division game. You might as well call it a pick 'em. It is what it is. Favorite favorite play, favorite early parlay I have. Derrick Henry, he was at minus 145. Christian McCaffrey was at minus 150. There's no reason they should be so cheap. Neither one of them, especially if they're healthy, especially behind the offensive lines that they do have. And both of them on the road. You got to ride your run game, especially when you have those. Parlay that, caught it at plus 180 on DraftKings. I love the play. Uh, Favorite early read on a touchdown. If I just leave that parlay, I got I got Fields. Fields in that green uniform. I feel as though I may be too high on the New York Jets this year, but I think I just like the New York Jets this year. I even like the New York Jets to cover that 3.5. Well, the 3.5 is what I got it at. See this down to a 3 against Pittsburgh to open the season. I just think that the Jets. I may be just drinking Jets juice, but I think the Jets could make some noise. I even threw them in one of my to make the playoff parlays just in case. It is what it is. I think the Jets have a real shot to be so active on the offensive side of the ball that they can give their defense the rest that they did not get behind the quarterbacks that they had over the last 3 seasons. And that defense that is formidable as long as they get some real opportunity to rest. Hell, even when they don't, will have the opportunity to flourish this year. Um, you have a defense that's going to know the ins and outs of the starting quarterback on the opposite side of the field to start the season and will probably be ready to pounce on him and go get them one. I think that's a big possibility. But nevertheless, Fields will go get himself a touchdown against a defense that knows him well. But that boy gonna move, and he ain't afraid of taking a hit either. So let's see, what players did we give out so far? We got Ravens on the money, right? We got Ravens on the money. We got Detroit on the money. Well, we got McCaffrey, Henry touchdown parlay. Fields, anytime touchdown. Jalen Hurts, anytime touchdown. Jameer Gibbs, anytime touchdowns. Strong lead towards David Montgomery. As long as he suits up and we got a goal opportunity. Heavy leans that I have. Giants plus 6.5. Simply because I might be drinking some more New York juice. The Giants are a team I hated my whole life. It is what it is. I'm a New Yorker and I can't stand Big Blue. I typically don't even cheer for anything that wears that color blue. But the Commanders spent a good portion of their time last season winning close games in the luckiest ways. In fact, they had a string of them after a while. They just, how did you even get in a position to win? I don't believe that happens year over year. I believe that teams come better equipped to handle what they throw at them. I don't have much faith in their run game, even though they do have the dual threat quarterback that gives them more of an option in the run game. But I just don't have faith in that run game. I like Daniels. I love his game, love it in college as well. But I don't think they're beating the Giants by a touchdown. If I'm wrong, prove it to me. That's all I got. Prove me wrong. Somebody. The Giants have made all of the right steps. They've made all the right steps in the right direction. And you get a veteran quarterback who I'm usually very down on. I'm still down on. But he gets an opportunity to play football at a high level with some young talent around him. That's shown in the preseason that the arm is still big. He was always an accurate arm. I don't know what happens if he gets forced out of the pocket. I guess that we'll have to wait and see. The Commanders have a little bit of drama around them. Yeah, they got the deal signed with McLaurin, but I think McLaurin is he's not that dude as talented as he is, he wasn't in the position to have those conversations yet based on productivity. But I digress. There's also some political beef around the Commanders just because they're DC's team. It is what it is. So let them deal with their nonsense accordingly. The Giants locker room is on fire right now. And Dable looks happy. Dable hasn't looked this happy since the year he was able to help Danny Dimes get that 4-year 160. So Happy Dable is a Dable that's going to have his hands on the quarterback room where he has a veteran starter and a young upstart. And they have, I question their wide receiver core outside of Malik Neighbors, but we could be seeing something real special brewing in New York with the hardest fucking schedule I've ever seen a team have. I've never seen a team have that bad of a season and get congratulated with a schedule that's worse than I've ever seen. But it's football, right? Everybody on the field has a chance. Go get you one. And the least you can do is get me plus 6.5. That's the least you can do. Other things that I have my eyes on, I have the Buccaneers money line because I just believe in Baker. I believe in Mike Evans. I believe in Bucky. It is what it is. I love the Raiders on the money line. I have no faith in the New England Patriots. That is all the reason that I have faith. I have absolutely no faith in the New England Patriots. Plus, as I open this up, for those of you that didn't know, I'm from Brooklyn. We don't like anything up there. Love you. Don't like you. It is what it is. Either way, people, that is what I truly give a fuck about for week 1. Money is going to get spent. Money is going to get made. Take the ride with me. Fade me if you dare. It's my time of year. My favorite time of the year. It's Christmas for me. It's Christmas for me until the final set of zeros on Super Bowl Sunday, people. I'm ready. Are you? That's not how I end my shit. This is your cup of Joe. You're welcome.